Welcome back to the Medieval Engineers Modding Guide for Blender. We will be making the placeholder cube in this video. This is a new video. There was another video that was made as a part 5, but it was more of a placeholder because I didn't really know what I was doing. This is a better video. I will be showing you a very correct and more linear way from the better videos that I've created from the original videos. Thank you for watching. We're going to open up MyBlock.blend, one that we created already. We're going to have to put this thing in the center. From where it is now, it's within that little piece. So if you see here, that little piece is the center. How we're to get that to the middle is we're going to go to object mode. So that we're moving the whole object and not just a piece of the overall geometry. Now we're going to press 5 and go to ortho view. Ortho view, you can see up here it says user ortho. And if you press 1, it'll take you to the X platform. It'll take you to the Y platform, you got to press 3. Now here, we're going to hold shift and click on this blue thing here. Try to get it in the middle as much as we can. And that way we can use it like a bar. And just drag it right there. Do the same thing with the green on the Z coming down. Hold shift. Just try to find it, the center. That's it. Now, press 5 again. Go back into regular user perspective. Hold Alt and just drag it over. Now, if we go back to edit mode, you'll see that the origin's changed for that model piece. The origin is still where it is meant to be, but now it's in the center. So that's right. That's correct. Next little lesson is the 3D cursor. This we're going to be using in a lot more videos in the future. So most of the time I like to keep it in the center. I'll use it occasionally, using ortho view to pin locations on exterior parts models to add geometry and such. But right now I need it to be in the center. There's a quick way and a stupid way of doing this. Stupid way is just putting in zeros into the cursor section here. But it's tedious because you can miss one, blah blah blah. But if you want it the quick way, it's real simple. You just press Control or Shift C, and that's it. It puts the cursor at the center and it zooms you into the model, which is a pain in the butt sometimes, but it does it. One-click action. All you have to do is zoom out. Done and done. We're going to save that. Now, from here, we're going to need to engage the model with the mod block into the world. But we want the world to be correct. Now to do that, I'm going to take this over here and I'm going to convert it to nodes material. Now it's going to materialize the block sheet, give it an internal, mechanism here. We need to be in object mode for this next part. Down here at the bottom of create, in object mode, there's a set of tools that helps you set up the environment. The first thing you want to press is this one. This is the first thing you want to do in the beginning of the video before you put in a model. That way, see how it creates the world to the grid size of the block. It's not... Oh, wait, never mind. Yeah, it's perfect. I mean, it's exactly perfect. This is the Medieval Engineer's world size. I was wrong before to say to anybody that you should build in the wrong parameters. It's good for a learning environment to challenge yourself, I guess you could say. And if you want to do that, it's totally what I'd do. But I have run into some sizing errors, and this is foolproof. Load it up like this, you won't have issues. Now, we're going to save like this. Next, really, 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 really simple is you just add a cube. Oops, don't want to add it there. See how the cursor, wherever the cursor is, that's where it's going to put the objects that you load into the world. So we're going to Control Z. We're going to press Shift C. Get a little bit of zoom in there. Zoom out, and then do that again. And wunderbar. Look at that. It's perfect. Man, it's just right in there. Oops, I moved the cursor again. Sorry, Shift C. Now, from here, it's going to get real easy. Pretty easy. These two are separate. They don't need to be separate. Since this is inside of this, you need to take this here and move it in so that it's nested. I'm going to go with MyBlock. Okay, so now I've got MyBlock all saved up in the scene and everything. I'm going to save this again and move on to some adding in more stuff over here. So now that you have the big block in here, you're just going to add in some mount points and mirroring points in the world. I guess this is for the building. Now, we're going to have to add in some dummies as well. And this is because, frightfully so, I guess it's the best way to explain it. It requires some things called compounds so that there's only one block being placed instead of 4 in one block. Now to add in the compounds, it's real simple. Here, you're going to need an empty. It's this thing here. You're going to need 3 of them. Okay, you're going to need to name them compound. Now that's compound underscore 01, compound underscore 02, compound underscore 03. From a coding perspective, all I can say is this is the way you do it if you want to know. We're going to save it again. Okay, so these right here, the mirroring things, that's for space engineers. If you want to use this in space engineers, you could. But it's maybe one day they'll have a use for it if people are using like peons to build things, like in a strategy game or something, I suppose. From here though, we're going to want to load up the texture from the internal block. And that's the whole point of that. So we can grab this block sheet here. pull out the block sheet that we worked so meticulously to preserve from that little interior piece. Convert nodes material like before. Now up here we're going to go technique and make sure you put this on alpha mask material, especially for this placeholder cube. I would suggest just grabbing this here thing and just bringing it up here. That way you don't have to worry about the other things down here as well. It's just other stuff you don't need to worry about. We're going to go to cycles. Make sure that we're working in cycles for this. Just looking over everything, making sure it's correct. We're going to want to add not a brush, a brush mask. And we're going to use map 1 as the texture, but the image itself is not going to be. It's just map 1 is what goes to the code to preserve the information. This is where the information goes for this particular texture. However, there are more textures up here at the top. You're going to want to fill something. You're going to want to fill the diffuse, color metal, and the alpha mask texture. I'll be making a video to show how to do that, but in the meantime, all you really need to do is just use this, the brush mask. We're going to save it. We're going to want to take a UV of this thing just to make sure that it's there. This should be really easy. We're going to need to go to edit mode. It's everything selected. Hold Alt and move around, make sure it's all glowing. And just press U. U is an unwrap tool. It creates a guide down here for the texture to be wrapped around. U, go to smart. Actually, just unwrap. And it'll just create this, which is, wrapped around this cube. There's a special way to understand exactly how that works. But it's best to just get a repeating texture. Or, there's a word for it. Procedural. You get a procedural texture that meets both sides. That's how their models work. Very good with that. Now, moving on. From here, it's really, really simple. You just go out and you grab the textures that you want. You put them into that mod folder that you created, that you would then copy, paste, call it MyBlock, and then start filling it up with stuff. Start filling it up with the textures, the model, the SBC, and then load it up in the game and try it out. I'll show you how that is done, just kind of in a light sense, and then there will be videos later on showing how I made the textures and how I did the SBC. Okie dokie, I'm gonna copy. Paste the copy. And cut. Paste it over here in the mods folder. I'm going to steal a texture from the old one that I'd fixed. In fact, I'm going to steal all these textures. From the model that I had fixed. That was not broken. Let's go and grab the data. Rename it MyBlock. Okay, I'm over in Notepad++. I have the SPC open. This is the SPC mini video of showing you how to, the big points on editing the SPC. Big fact is this is not the right name, so it's going to be usually a bigger deal when you're dealing with a bigger SPC. So if you just double click, you can see it just needs to be changed in one spot, because this subtype is all that needs to be changed. It'd be swell to change both of them, just because then the display will be correct and won't say the wrong thing in the game as well. But this is the only place where it'll throw an error and not let you load this mod. The display name, you can just jabber in some stuff here, a sentence or a description, and make sure that it's closed. Like I guess like make it a web page or something like that. I don't like spaces though, so just put a space in. Don't put too much spaces in there. I mean, it'll work fine, I suppose. This is from the cube. I just had copied the actual mount point stuff. But getting these things to work is going to be a task of maybe going to the Discord and asking people how they do it, or just watching more of the series that I might create, or will create, I guess, into some of the stuff I'll be creating. This is going to be more of a fast to get into the information. So I changed that to the new name, making sure there's nothing else that needs to be corrected. That's pretty much it. So I'm going to save this. So for the SPC video, I'm sorry I did not mention this. We're kind of cutting back and forth, and all of a sudden all this shows up. It's like, oh, I made a mistake. It happens. It happens a lot in this process, so get used to it. And I'm showing you, just so that you'll see. You need to change another thing here. If I can even find it. Right here, mod cube. Because that's going to come out as MyBlock _large.mwm in the models folder, or in the model folder. Models cubes. Also, icons, make sure that those are correct. You can find the icons in the game folder. So from here we're going to go in and test the model, but we got to put it in that folder first. Export it as seen, as a large block. So whenever you export here as a large block only, it'll pop into here and it'll be named the scene underscore large block or small block, or large and small. It'll create both. It'll create a large one and one scaled down to small. I don't really understand how that works. I guess you can scale at 100 and then it'll scale it up again. I'm not sure. We'll see right now. It said some export nodes were skipped. That's because we skipped them. Save it. It wasn't saved. So actually what I'm going to do is I'm going to load the block up in here again. Make sure that I got the up-to-date one. I'll create a new folder. We're going to cut. Paste it in there. It will get really confusing in the other folder if we did. We're going to copy this though. And stick it in there, because I guess if you don't, then it puts in an actual placeholder model, which is not have anything on it or anything. It's very confusing. So now we're going to go in the game. So I just did this already, and I didn't do anything of what I just did. I just kind of just skipped over it. Like, what was I thinking? Load world test cube, which already has the mod loaded up. It's the folder. The block wasn't in there. It was just like a little cube that I was like, oh, hold on. And then I realized I didn't do anything to actually get the model into the folder. What a mess up. I thought I didn't have the icons in there, but they were. But then you'll see. So this is the block. See, we haven't scaled it down. I just wanted you to see this, how big the blocks will be if you don't scale them down in Blender. It's going to take a minute to load. It's going to place over everything in the world. I think it's going to start throwing me on top of it, I believe. Nope, it's pushing me out. Or probably in, more or less. Nope, yeah, it's going to push me completely out of it. So, yeah, this is what it looks like inside of a giant cube that you've made that seems to have like a hexapodanal texture on the inside. I love that. It's like a giant hive or something. I don't even know what to think. Oh, well. Let's get on the outside so you can see what this bugger looks like from a huge too huge perspective. So that's the cube. That is the texture. That's how it's going to look. More or less when it's, you know, smaller, when you actually have the right size. So part of the troubleshooting process is having to test your model. Making sure that you know what you need necessary to make it right. That's half the battle. The other half is fixing it. So the placeholder block that we have, that I've kind of renamed to MyBlock but didn't actually save it, is oh yeah, the scale. So here you in object mode, you grab the scale here and just reduce it times 100. And that is a large block, that little tiny little block. Save it again. Export it as scene, or export scene as block. Had to make another edit to the video. It turns out that the compounds that I put in did not get put in correctly. As it is, whenever you add in all these extra features for the game world of Medieval Engineers, it creates new layers here, where you can actually put LODs and other such materials all in these different layers, which I'll explain in later videos, and I just completely spaced on it. I thought about it a couple times, but as everything was going so fast and I was making different videos, I forgot to mention this very important feature, the layers. The first layer is where the main model goes. This is also where the compounds needs to go singularly. So in order to do that, just delete all the ones that you've created and then come down here and just select this one little layer right here. Just like that. That way you can come in and put in new empties. And then name them compound underscore 01, compound underscore 02, compound underscore 03, just like before. I'd already technically fixed this, but doing it live instead of just saying it is so much more informative. So that's the way that the texture will come out looking, all sides. It's yeah, it's black granite. That's probably gonna go on my oh look, there's Coggernaut. Say hi everybody. Hey Coggernaut. Hey. Oh, he got some good meals. That's good. He cooks his own food. He doesn't buy like Marie Calendar or Banquet. He's not a banquet man. So I hope you enjoyed this series. I will be releasing the kind of how-to on SBCs in between for another series, and there will be a texturing mini series after this that shows you how to use paint.net to make all these textures that I've made. So very grateful for you to watch this and to learn this process. Thank you very much, and have a good creative time, and be creative responsibly.